here at the beginning, I'm disappointed to know that other countries pay far less for the same medications than we do. A recent study of 10 other high-income countries found that on average they spend only 56% of what we pay for the exact same drugs, and unlike our broken drug pricing system, these countries negotiate their drug prices. So I'm pleased to see that we're considering the Medicare Prescription Drug Price Negotiation Act from Congressman Welch, which would repeal the non-interference clause enacted by the 2003 Prescription Drug Improvement and Modernization Act. This horrendous 2003 law, which I voted against, prevents Medicare from using its purchasing power to lower the cost of life-saving drugs such as insulin, and Congressman Welch's bill would go a long way in righting this wrong. I want to also thank Speaker Pelosi and Chairman Pallone for their leadership in crafting the Lower Prescription Drug Costs Now Act, which I'm pleased to co-sponsor. This comprehensive legislation delivers on our promise to the American people to lower prescription drug prices by allowing the federal government to negotiate, eliminating price gouging, and capping out-of-pocket costs. I look forward to helping move this legislation to the House floor, and while we work on these bills, we should also continue our work on legislation that addresses the other factors of rising drug prices. This past August, I introduced the Refund Act, which would protect Medicare beneficiaries from wasteful spending on excessively large single-use drug vials. This common-sense legislation would enable seniors and the Medicare program to recoup money wasted on these oversized vials. Earlier this month, Congressman Guthrie and I led 90 of our House colleagues on a bipartisan letter to the FDA on drug shortages, which can increase the cost of vital drugs in some cases. And last week, Congressman Larry Bookson and I introduced the bipartisan, bicameral Advancing Education and Biosimilars Act. This legislation would create federal programs to promote the use of biosimilar drugs, which are generic versions of high-priced biologics. Our constituents are demanding action on high drug prices, and I'm honored to serve on this committee where our chairwoman, Anna Eshoo, does such a great job, which is leading the effort so far to fix the epidemic of price gouging. So let me ask Mr. Anderson this. The 2003 Prescription Drug Improvement Modernization Act created Medicare Part D. Again, I voted against it, and it provides inadequate drug coverage for seniors. Currently, 60,000 of my constituents are enrolled in Part D plans, and my constituents, especially those with chronic conditions such as diabetes, frequently tell me that Part D coverage is too expensive. In 2019, seniors in my district will have to spend upwards of $5,100 before they receive some relief from a so-called catastrophic phase of the Part D benefit. As we all know, many seniors have fixed incomes, with the majority of seniors living with incomes below $26,200. So, Dr. Anderson, you note in your written testimony that Medicare Part D was designed on budget constraints instead of sound insurance principles. It's my understanding that H.R. 3 would reform this benefit. So how would the Lower Drug Costs Now Act address rising out-of-pocket costs for seniors with Medicare Part D coverage in a district like mine?
Well, in yours and probably everyone else's area. Basically, Mr. Fowler, Dr. Fowler has talked about the fact that his drug benefit was quite good when he was employed by the university and not very good when he was employed and he's under Medicare. And the reason is he didn't have to pay very much when he was under the university. He has to pay a significant amount. He says $12,000. You say $5,000 in your district on average. That's a huge amount of money for somebody who's on Social Security, and that's all their income. That's $5,000 is probably 2 months out of 12 of their total income. They don't have that amount of money. So limiting it to $2,000 is still a lot of money. It's probably 1 month of their Social Security income, but it's way better than 2.5 months of their Social Security income. So I think this is